Once again, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of CueSports International, we'd like to welcome you back here to the CSI 10-ball Invitational. This is live from the Predator Arena here at the Rio Hotel in Las Vegas, and this is a round-robin event. 16 of the best players in the world have been invited here to compete over 3 days, round-robin format. They're in groups of 4. At the end of 3 days' play, the player, at the end of the second day, will start to determine who the winners will be of each group, and the winners will then proceed to a Final Four single elimination round, which will occur on Sunday. I'd like to express our appreciation again to the Rio for being such a gracious host, to CueSports International, and to all the sponsors that have helped make this great event possible. We've run a little late on the last match, so we're going to get right underway here and introduce our players. This is the second half of Group C. Okay, our first player comes to us from Taiwan. This gentleman has a runner-up finish in the All Japan Open to his credit, also a runner-up finish in the World Cup of Pool, and in 2012 he won the Golden Break 9-ball championship. He's sponsored by Cyclop Pool Balls. He's a member representing Taiwan Typhoon. Would you please welcome Ping-Chung. Thank you very much. His opponent from the Republic of the Philippines in Angeles City. We don't have enough time to list this gentleman's accomplishments. He's got a U.S. Open 9-ball to his credit, 3 World 8-ball titles, a World 9-ball title, and if you were around Derby City in January, you saw history made once again. He won for the 6th time the Derby City One-Pocket Championship to go with his 5 all-around world titles. Ladies and gentlemen, sponsored by San Miguel Beer and Puyad Sports, a member of the Billiard Congress Hall of Fame, and arguably the greatest player of all time, would you please welcome the magician, the most famous name in the game, it's Reyes. Okay, thank you very much. Race to 9, alternate break format. Referee is Don Mokrow. Thank you, everybody.
Tongue-tied there, but anytime I deviate from what I've memorized, I get screwed up. Okay. Tim? All right, Cotton, we are ready to go here with the second half of Group C. The 5 o'clock round will feature the 4 players in Group D. And then when we come back at 7 for the last round of the day, we will go back to the Group A players. Those are the ones that started us off today. Of course, there'll be different matchups. But right now, we've got Bata against Junior Ko. This is Ko Pin-Yee's younger brother, Ping-Chung Ko. He played here last year in our U.S. Open 8-ball and 10-ball events, and he opened up a lot of people's eyes. So don't be surprised at the prowess of this young man, and don't be fooled by his small physical stature. He's got a game to be reckoned with, no doubt. Efren one's in lag. And a 9-ball in the corner looks good. Yes, and the 1-ball sitting very nicely. The 2's hanging in the lower left pocket. It's real deep. But the fact that it's right next to the 3 is going to make that transition easy. And then he'll just need to negotiate his way down to the 4-ball. Everything else looks like it's just sitting there for the taking. These can be a little tricky with these deep diamond shelves. It looks like it's just got to be a stop shot. You know, make sure you get through the cue ball here. Oh, he played it that way. That's a magician shot if there ever was one, because that's a real dangerous way to play that. You've got to hit the thickness of the object ball absolutely perfect. And I actually think, Bobby, he got a little too straight.
I think he's straight in. We're going to see a magician shot here, I believe, because
Low right, snatch it out.
I can't tell from the angle from here. That cue ball's hard.
Yeah, you're right. That cue ball delayed before the draw took. Fortunately, the 7 will still go in the pocket by where Efren's standing. It'll also go in the side by the 5. So the fact that they're tied up doesn't matter. The 7-10 may even be wired for all we know. Well, it's not going to be wired now. That's okay.
He hit that ball completely wrong. I mean,
Yeah.
no, excuse me, not wrong. He was wanting to hit it thin and go up and down. He hit it
right,
fat.
He didn't want to run into those balls.
No, he hit it fat. He's trying to go up and down. I shouldn't say wrong.
Yeah.
Greatest player of all times. Look at this shot, though. This guy.
He knew that was going to happen.
Yep.
You know, I know you've watched Efren his whole career. I have too, but last 5 to 10 years, it almost seems like he starts to rise up on his shots a lot more than he did. And I think maybe that's just a factor of, you know, where the years have gone by, the physical wear and tear and all of that. It doesn't seem to affect him that much, but it just...
Every once in a while he'll miss a ball that he would never miss before.
Yeah, and that's...
that ain't many.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Listen, the man is less than a month from being 60 years old, and he is still an absolute threat in just about anything he enters. Arguably, when it comes to playing the rotation games, I think he still is a formidable opponent, but he doesn't have the break, which he's never really had. But you know, the modern day players now who work on their breaks so much and have it down to an art and a science. Yeah, another one, Efren. 2, move 2.
I'll tell you a funny story. When we was doing that 2 years ago, doing the straight pull challenge, one of the top straight pull players was expecting us to keep score for him, and we weren't supposed to, right? I told him, I said, no, dude, you got to do it yourself. He was trying to turn the thing over, and it wouldn't turn over. He like knocked the whole thing over. Then he had a break shot. He missed the break shot. He was smokes coming out of his ears. I can't tell you who it was. That boy was he mad. Like,
Sure.
Oh my God. And he kept trying to turn that thing. That thing is a pain. I mean, it gets hung. It's a pain. It's a huge pain.
Yeah.
Boy, the guy was mad. Smoke coming out of his ears.
You actually got to be a little kind of rough with these. You can't move them gently. The holes aren't big, are too small for the rings that are there. They needed a bigger hole. Look at this break. Slammed them, cue ball in the middle of the table, made a ball, got a shot. Thin cut, but right-handed. He should be able to reach it.
Excuse me.
Okay, on the rear table, it looks like it's 2 apiece. Ralph and John Mora.
Hey, what's your prediction here?
I'm going with Efren here, just based on the fact that young Ko may not be, you know, quite as seasoned as needed, but you know, at this level, 1 race to 9, which is pretty short. Like we were talking earlier, Cotton, nothing's going to be an upset. I mean, if Cole beats him 9-1, maybe it's an upset. But if he wins the match, I don't think it's going to be a shock.
No.
And, you know, like I guess like most of us that are Efren fans and have been for 30-plus years, I can never root against him, and I always want him to win. I mean, the guy's, you know, he's an idol. He's just about everybody's favorite player.
Yes, he is.
And I also think that just because the guy is just about 60 years old and doing things that guys can't do when they're 30, every time he can get near the finish line of an event or even win one, it's just more history that I'm thrilled to be able to be a part of seeing. It's going to be a long time before there's another man that comes along and can revolutionize this game the way he has.
Yeah, he's amazing. It's ridiculous how amazing of a player he is.
Well, I agree, and I'm more alluding to the fact that I think he revolutionized the way the game is played. Of anyone in the past, you know, 30 years, and certainly the last 25, the world of pool is different and better for it because of the things that he innovated. And you couple that with a man who knows how exalted he is in the game, yet has as much humility as anybody you'd ever want to meet, never ever has said anything out of line or disrespectful to anybody.
I know. Every time he wins, he'll say, well, yeah, I heard you win.
Yeah,
He
he
said, I
got
got
lucky.
lucky. I got lucky. He's a trip.
I've never seen him say no to a picture, an autograph, you know, just all of those things.
Oh, everything he does. Yeah, he's just amazing. That's a pretty nice out this kid just made, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, starting with that sharp cut on the one ball as
going
well.
behind them balls, three rails.
Yep. So, just like that, one apiece. Ping-Chung Ko. And now Efren's going to have to kind of, he's got to keep pace, you know. I don't think there's one bit of intimidation factor here from on Ping-Chung's part. He certainly knows who the magician is. They may have even played before, and he's been around the game and played the legends and the greats. Coming up after this match for you, everybody, on our stream table here, it's going to be Jason Shaw and Corey Deuel. That's the first of the Group D matches. The other Group D match, which will be on the outer table, is going to feature Yuxuan Cheng and Francisco Bustamante.
On the other table,
On the outer table, right. Where right now it's Ralph and John Mora in a 2-2 tie. You can see Ralph shooting in the background there.
How do you choose who's playing on what table?
CSI has made those choices in advance. Actually, there's a big poster card there right behind the outer table, and that's where the lineup is posted for the entire day as to who's playing on which table.
Is everybody going to have a chance to play on the TV table?
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure with everybody playing that many matches and only 2 tables in play, it wouldn't be fair to exclude somebody. So I didn't actually look to see that that was, you know, something that was going to be done, but I can't imagine it won't be. Efren did make the 10 ball on the break in addition to 2 other balls, so as you could see, the 10 spots, but he has no way to get to the 1 ball.
I just push out here and hit the 10.
Yeah, I may think maybe he go the other way. Maybe just go near the 7 ball. I don't know. I guess it's not bad. He doesn't want to leave it where the guy can hit and stick, though. And you can't do it now because it's on the cushion. If he gives it back, Efren's probably going to bank the 1 cross corner.
Whichever one you want. I mean, I don't know.
I'd be a little reluctant to hand this back to the magician just because he's the magician.
Okay,
but he might, like, you know, cross corner with the speed to get it underneath the 6 ball and bring the cue ball back down the table here. There's no kiss. That was exactly the shot that Efren was going to play, and that's why Ping-Chung decided to accept it, which was the correct thing to do. It's pretty hard at this level to push out somewhere and expect your opponent not to see and anticipate what you were going to do.
Yeah.
You know. Well, this is a little tricky here, Cotton.
Right, 2 rails.
Two rails were right.
Yep, behind them balls. Put the 1 over there behind the whatever. Yeah, like this.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Yeah. You know.
This is a little tricky right here.
You could roll them up on the 5, but you'll leave an easy. It's dangerous, and you'll leave an easy hit. It won't slide past the 8. The combination is very difficult, and there's no guarantee of a good shot afterwards.
You know, if you was like about 3 feet closer, it will slide behind the 8.
Well, if you were that close to it, yeah. But from this distance,
no,
and look where the 3 is.
He'd
right.
be jammed.
Right. How about just skim it, put it on the rail, and send the cue ball over there behind the, you know, behind the 6 as best you can get it.
Oh, that's what I like.
Yeah. What's he going to do? Is he going to slice it now?
Surely not.
Well, he called the right-hand corner, the upper right corner. I think he's playing mostly cue ball here. Okay, he didn't get away with it. No.
Not a good decision, right?
I don't think so. Unless I don't think he really knew where both balls were going.
Got a little funny here on the 8.
Yeah, it sure did. It came about 1.5 feet too far.
Is he shooting it back in the left
Yeah,
corner?
he's back cutting it.
I don't like that.
Four rails with the cue
Look at
ball.
this shot.
Yeah, 4 rails as long as you don't get behind the 10 or marry up to the 9.
Hell of a shot, wasn't it? That's a heck of a shot. Well, I tell you.
I hear you. Here's, you know, just stay down through the shot here. He did.
He missed it.
I just had a feeling there. That's why I said stay down and through. When you're close to the ball, even for Efren, I mean, sometimes they're deceiving when you're that close to the object ball and you have that just little cut, but you got a long distance to travel. And that was really a factor of going too far on the 8 and having to play that difficult 8, which resulted in the difficulty that he encountered on the 9, even though you would have expected him to make it. And
he wouldn't have missed that 9 ball in a million years a few years ago.
No, but he wouldn't have got the bad shape on the 8 either. He'd have been perfect.
Yeah. Excuse me. I hate to see Efren miss.
Oh, I do too.
You know what I mean? I just hate it when he misses. I just want to see him play so perfect. Well, the only trouble here he got Ken is a 4 ball, unless he tries to play the 4-10 combination. Look, you know, what do you think?
I
It's
think the
pretty much
4-10.
lined up.
I think given the position of the 3, the
Why,
4-10, the 4-10 is the way to play it. I mean, it'll depend on the
Where it
angle,
gets
the
here,
angle
yeah.
on the 3, but it looks like that's laying about the best for it. That needs a big bounce, bigger.
No, he didn't get there.
Yeah. I wonder if he can come around the 10-7 now and get behind the 4. He'd have to play the 3 in the side almost to do that, and hit it with a low right ball, or force it, playing it in the corner.
I think he can still get there. Can't tell what he's going to do yet. He's using inside. He's going to spin around the ball.
Well, that's what I said. 3 rails behind from behind with a low right ball. He knew he was going at the 10. Now he's going to have to play the 10.
Yeah.
And I would move that magic rack before I'd shoot this. I know it doesn't seem to affect it much, but to me, I could never shoot a ball with that thing there. I guess the 4 goes because he hasn't called the 10, which he'd have to.
Yeah.
Because it's a
I think the
combination.
4 goes, yeah.
So if he doesn't say anything, he's shooting the 4. He probably doesn't like what the cue ball is going to do after it hits the 7, so he's figuring out how to cue it to get the effect he wants. He just flat out missed the 4-ball. He didn't cut it enough. There was plenty of room. He was too worried about the cue ball hitting the 7 flush and stopping for the 5.
Well, if this kid gets out here, not kid, you know, this
No.
young man, he's going to have him 3-1. And it looks like he's out if he just gets here and shoots a 7 inside. Efren's made 2 uncharacteristic, whatever the word is, errors that you never see him make.
Yeah.
Miss that 9, I can't, yeah, it's huge.
Mm-hmm.
Saw Nick Varner on TV on the internet play that match in Denver last month. Boy, he played good.
Yeah.
He beat Johnny.
Now there is an all-time great person too, Nick Varner.
I've known him
Yeah.
I've known him personally for 40 years. He's a really nice guy, and he plays everything so good. You know, and he's another guy you can't shake. You know, he's like unshakable.
Yep.
He'll drive you crazy. He plays slow, man. Walks around chewing that gum like, dude.
Yep.
But he plays all games good.
I think
Maybe
he's
in top
he's
5
the
of all
only.
time.
I think he's the only guy with a world championship in all 5 disciplines.
He plays everything good.
Yeah.
Straight pool, banks,
One
one pocket's top notch,
right.
9 ball.
Ball, 8 ball's one of his best games.
Everything.
Yeah.
I've known him for a million years too. He's
Well,
a good
dude. Nicky and I, we're the same age. We're within like 6 months of each other.
He's 60.
So
I think he's 66.
Yeah, I'll be
65.
66 in a few weeks. So the point being, we were in college at the same time. He went to Purdue. I went to Northeastern University in Boston, but I represented our school in the NCAAs back then.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Nicky won 2 years in a row from Purdue. It was 69 and 70, I think he won. So that's when I first heard of him and knew of his ability with a pool cue.
Comparing pool players from 30 years ago is so much like comparing boxers, you know, but I just can't. In my mind, I can't figure it out. Like,
Well,
for example,
it'd be
like,
the same with baseball players, you know, current day baseball players and guys that played for the 27 Yankees. I mean, you know.
Well, one thing, the equipment's so much easier nowadays.
True.
It's better and it's easier. It's definitely easier.
There's also so much more information to learn and help you and improve your game. You know, I know I'm dating both of us, but everybody knows that by now, how old we are and all of that. But, you know, when we were coming up, and I would assume it's the same for you, the old guys didn't share their secrets.
They wouldn't tell you nothing. Are
you had to pay for it.
Oh yeah,
you had to pay for it, and I don't mean take a lesson. I mean get the snot beat out of you for money.
Yeah,
and that's how you learn.
Yeah.
And of course, it's much different nowadays. But, you know,
Look at this shot.
Jesus Christ, what a great shot.
What a shot.
But,
Man,
you
say that
know, I
ball
mean,
cut that
I've
ball.
had this conversation quite a bit with Danny DiLiberto and Billy. And both of them, especially Danny, seem to think that today's players aren't that much greater than the greats of the 50s and 40s. It's just that there's so many more of them. Where back then, there was a handful of guys that could, you know, that were at the top. And now you go to some of these events and there's 30, 40 guys capable of winning. Ooh, that may drop. No, it's not gonna drop. Diamond table.
Yeah, he hit that ball a little funny.
Well, it's not in there that deep, so he can catch it with the long rail first here and swing around. But I think he's got to get way down there in the kitchen where he can play the 3 in the side off the 5 or the 3 in the corner. So he's got to. He wants to hit this kind of medium thickness and get past the 4 ball. And he didn't quite do it, but at least he can see the red.
Well, he's going to have to try to duck here, and I don't see. What are you writing? What's that?
I'm making my notes for my introductions.
Oh.
Well, you think all that stuff I do out there just comes out the top of my head?
I thought it did. You do it so well.
Oh, yeah. Well.
And all this time I thought, man, you are so smart. And
Well,
you're
what
reading
I
it.
was is I'm smart enough to have
Write it down.
kept the book for the past 20 years. So every time a player accomplishes something, I can just add it.
Yep.
And every time his sponsors change, I can update them. So
Good idea.
when I get to a tournament, I normally don't have to reinvent the wheel and go talk to everybody and get all the correct information. I just have to make sure what I have is current. And a lot of it, too, is, you know, I mean, like I was saying, I mean, I got 2 pages of Efren and 4 pages of Shane stuff, and you can't go through all that. So I pick 2 or 3 things that are noteworthy and try to change them up each time, and just to, you know, help illustrate the greatness of the player and what they've accomplished.
People that don't play pool don't know how hard it is for a guy 60 years old to be competing against guys that are in their 20s and 30s and whatever. You know what I mean? It's tough playing these rotation games.
Sure.
One pocket you can duck and you ain't got to shoot at your hole, you know, and you're moving around.
Yeah.
But this here, you got every shot. Every shot's you got to make.
Right.
There ain't no ducking. You know what I mean? You just, it's so difficult.
Well, and there's also the physical demands and the stamina necessary, and you know how many pool players you know that got back trouble and you know, leg trouble and all this stuff, and it's remarkable.
But he can still do this. It really is.
Absolutely, and I mean, and also to another player's credit, who's you know now over 50 years old, is Earl. I mean, look at the condition that man keeps himself in.
Look what he just did.
Yeah, he'll be all right. It's not, you know, it's not what Efren, what the old Efren might have done, but
yeah,
he should be able to cut this in and just float to the middle of the table, play the 10 in the same corner.
Yeah, it's just.
I don't know. Maybe it's a little steeper cut than it looks from here. See, now, if there's anything that challenges him now at this stage of his life, it's long shots, it's distance, right? Yeah. Long straight ins. I mean, you'd give him this 15 years ago.
Well, yeah, this.
See, he moved, Bobby.
Jumped up. He jumped
moved.
up.
He can't. He's not. He doesn't hold the upper part of his body
No, he jumped up.
as still as he used to when he goes through the cue ball.
He jumped up.
And you know, I think the last thing in the world anybody wants to see is him having difficulty. It's one thing to miss tough shots.
But to miss it straight in like that, you know, I mean,
you know how
so
much,
many young people
well,
just
and
fired
you know,
in.
well, and you know, I mean, there's no prouder man in the sport than this guy.
I know, it's
And
heartbreaking. I hate to see it.
it is. And, you know, I think he's more embarrassed for everybody else than he is for himself.
I know, I hate it. I hate when he misses these balls.
You know, I've talked to him a lot of times, and I've often asked him, you know, when do you ever feel the most pressure? And he says, when I'm playing in the Philippines and my country is watching, or I'm playing World Cup for my country.
Yeah.
You know, he
jumped.
kind of wears the flag around him all the time.
Yeah, he jumped up on that 10.
But that's what I was mentioning to you earlier. You know, when the match began, if there's one thing we've noticed about him, you know, in the last 4 or 5 years, as he's gotten to 54, 55, 57, 58, it's those long shots that you've got to keep your body completely still and get completely through the cue ball.
And once you start jumping up like that, it's hard. It's hard to break.
Yeah, it is.
You know what I mean? It just it starts to become automatic that you're lifting up.
Right.
And you see how he lifted up right when he contacted the ball.
Exactly. Yeah. And if you start to think about it, that's worse, because now that's what you're thinking about, and you're not supposed to be thinking when you're down over the shot. You've done all your thinking beforehand.
Yeah.
All right. Now Efren has another opportunity here with a fairly good-looking rack.
See,
the 2-3.
You know, he can still play one pocket like 90% of his speed.
Well, sure, because you don't get that many those long straight ins.
And if you get one, you can duck.
That's right.
This here, he's probably, I guarantee you, percentage-wise, he's probably playing 80% of his game.
If that. It might even be a little less.
If that,
it might be.
Because he wouldn't have missed that ball in a zillion years.
No, just like before when he he overcut the 4 ball and he missed it, and he ran into the 10 because he was trying to do something with the cue ball.
Yeah.
And you know, believe me, everybody, and I think you all know, we're saying these things because we love this man, and we care about how he feels about himself and how he continues to represent the game.
Oh, he's my favorite player. There's no doubt about it.
Mine too. I mean, it hurts. It hurts to watch him have this difficulty. And on the other hand, you've got to have even more respect for him, that he's not afraid to get up there, and if some of these things happen, well, he still manages to go on.
And he's still subject to win the whole thing.
He still could.
That's the crazy part.
Well, I think his win at the Derby one pocket this year, Bobby, was, I mean, just to use a cliche, it was one for the ages.
Yeah.
298 guys, and he's the only one that goes undefeated. He never lost.
Listen, and every top one pocket player in the world was in it. It's like
it was
everybody.
the toughest one pocket field in history.
Yeah, everybody was there that plays now. Yeah.
Right. I mean,
he beat. Look at this! Look at this! Look at this!
It's going to be all right. I mean, the last 3 was him, Shannon Dalton, and Scott Frost.
Yeah.
And Boosty was like 4th or 5th. And what people also don't realize is he's won 6 one pocket titles at Derby. Now there's been 16 Derby cities, but he's only played in 11 of them.
He's won 6.
So he's won 6 out of 11, and 4 in a row. Imagine that, winning that one pocket event 4 years in a row, and he did that in the 2000s.
Yeah.
Attaboy. Way to go, Bada. Get out. Good man.
Everybody's pulling for him.
Of course they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bata, that's it.
he's a good dude, no doubt about it. You know, he gives money away in his country. He does everything. He's just such a good guy, you know. What happened to all them guys? What's Rimpy and all them guys doing? You know what I mean? Are they play pool anymore?
No, I don't. Jimmy don't play much anymore. I saw him last year at the Hall of Fame banquet. That's the only time I've seen him. Maybe he'll do an exhibition here or there, but I think he's essentially retired from playing.
What about Hopkins is still playing?
Hopkins still plays a little bit. He don't travel much.
No, he don't go nowhere. I heard he was still playing good.
Well, that's what they say. You know, Varner play a little bit here and there. But they're such a great group of mid-20s to late 30-something players right now. I mean, you look at guys in their mid-30s, guys like Appleton, Mika, who's 40 or 41, Torsten, Shane, who's 31 now.
Yeah.
Alex, 34 or 35.
Yeah.
Did I mention Darren? You've got right there. You've got 6 or 7 guaranteed future Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look at this shot.
So what's needed is the guys coming in behind them. I mean, you know, Shane's the leader of the current new young generation and all of that. But I'll tell you, you know, a guy that I think is certainly capable of kind of following right along in those footsteps is John Morrow over there. He's got the game, he's got the talent, he's got the demeanor. Brandon Schuff, Oscar Dominguez, a lot of great young players. And then just from a pure talent level, you've got people like Justin Hall, Justin Bergman.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them.
Yeah. So let's just hope that there's still enough tournaments around to let those guys blossom, you know?
Well, Efren tried to make that carom off that ball on the side and hung it. He hit it a little fat. Well, I believe he's out from here. Ken is going to make this match 5-2 as opposed to 4-3. That was a big miss.
Yeah, I really was hoping Efren had closed the gap right there and put a little suspense into it. I mean, there's still a ways to go, but it doesn't look like Ping-Chung Ko is going to make many unforced errors and hand a couple of games to Efren. You know,
No,
easy wins.
Yeah.
Whereas, unfortunately, the magician has done that, and he's given up a couple of racks here that he ordinarily wouldn't have. I mean, it really should be about a tied match. And meanwhile, on the other table, I can tell you that right now John Morrow leads 5-3. Ralph is shooting the 10 ball to make it 5-4.
It's so funny when you're young like this. You get them long straight-in shots, and they're like hangers. They're like hangers. When you get old, you're like, oh no, I need to get close. You know, it's crazy, isn't it? Ah. I remember when I was young, somebody missed a ball and leave me. I'd hope they left me tough where I could get up there and make a tough shot. And now I hope they hang it in the pocket if they miss. Really, I swear I'd be playing. I think, say, miss,
Yeah.
leave me something tough where I can rifle this ball in
Right.
100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, please hang it in the hole, or I ain't got to do nothing. Just shoot and stop.
Sure.
I know, it's crazy.
Well, there's a little bit of showing off in all of us too. You know,
Yeah.
you want to. I always found, and I don't know why it was, the more people that watched me, seems the better I played. I just enjoyed.
Really?
I just enjoyed playing in front of people. If I was playing, you know, just a match with nobody watching, sometimes a dog stuff, I'd never think I would. You know,
I like
just,
people watching when I was gambling.
Yeah.
If I was-
I didn't gamble much. I did when
Yeah.
I was young, but once I got past college, I didn't gamble anymore.
Look at this break.
But yeah, I enjoy having people watch. You know, it's kind of inside. You want to say, well, let me show them what I know and what I can do. You know, not.
What's Efren laughing about? He's smiling about something. Something got him funny.
Well,
He's a trip.
if anybody knew what was inside that brain, they'd.
You know, he's like got a genius brain. You know, he's like a master
I know
chess
he's a
player.
I
mean, the
know.
guy's like
Yeah,
he's like autistic with all that stuff. Look at this shot.
I
Look,
mean,
look at this shot.
I would.
Look at this shot. Now that might be the greatest shot in history. You see how he hit this ball?
Yeah,
Did you see this shot?
that's.
Inside English and going between them balls and get like perfect.
Well, most people would never even seen the shot, and then you got to execute it.
Did you see? I mean, you see how hard that shot was? Really?
Yeah.
People don't realize that was like one in.
Right. And then he misses the straight in 10 balls.
Oh, I know.
But
Makes me
you know,
sick.
I don't know how you feel about it, but I think long straight in shots are some of the toughest shots in pool.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you have no margin for error.
I can tell you, I'd never missed one though.
Don't get straight in.
Don't cut it. Simple. Just don't cut it. Wow, that shot he made on the one just in, killing the cue ball, going between the balls, two rails.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Yeah. Like the guy that he goes up to a stake horse and he says, "Come on, back me, back me, back me. I know a million shots. I got a million shots. There ain't a shot that will come up. I can't make. I got a million shots." The guy finally stakes him. He goes out. He loses the guy's whole bankroll in like an hour and a half. And the guy comes back to him and he says, "What the hell happened? You told me you knew a million shots." He says, "I did. None of them came up."
Yeah, none of them came up. That's pretty funny. None of them came up.
Meanwhile, after that great 1-2 ball here, he's made the rest of the rack pretty damn routine, and he ain't going to miss
Nice
this
out.
one. I hope
Nice out.
I hope this gives him a little bit of a spark. Just feel good about himself again. Forget about that 10 ball and all
Yeah.
that.
Nice out. Beautiful shot on the one. Shot of the match.
Pull back another game or two here. I think the crowd will really get into it and get behind him.
I never will forget it, Reds, man. He was playing so good. Cesar Morales, he gave Wade Crane the 8-ball playing 10-ball and beat him. It was just a joke. But nobody played 10-ball back then. Everybody,
Right.
And it was like one of the first tournaments where they played one foul. And he's kicking safe, and everybody's kicking 100 miles an hour trying to shit balls in. So he had everybody twisted up in this country. Cesar Morales. When I saw him play, I saw that goofy style and that stroke. I said, who is this guy?
Yeah, I remember the story went around too that everybody was saying he had a pump stroke.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like playing a violin.
Yeah, it was funny. Like, who is?
Man, get out of the
Don't
side. Get out of the
splash,
side.
please.
Jesus.
Oh, boy.
That's from your two unbiased commentators. We're not rooting for anybody, are we?
No.
And with all apologies to Ping-Chung,
I got in trouble for rooting for him like last year when he was playing a
Yeah,
guitar
I
match.
know
Like,
he did. I know. And they get on me sometimes because they know I'm, a big fan of Shane Van Boning's. And, I mean, I try not make it too obvious. But, I mean,
it just
we
sneaks
all,
out.
listen, there isn't a guy in the business, whether we're commentators, media, photographer, whatever, that doesn't have their favorite guys that they pull for. Okay, in any sport.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, obviously, it's maybe a little less than professional to do it on a live broadcast.
Yeah.
But hopefully, you know, we're certainly going to commend good play, no matter who it's from.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're going to admonish
bad
play.
I just want Efren to win.
You know, whoever it's from.
No, I agree, Ken.
And I think the pool world understands that. I mean, in every other sport, I mean, you got the hometown baseball and basketball announcers, and you know, but they're paid to do that. They're paid to show favoritism to their home teams.
Yeah. Well, you know what? If Efren would have missed those 2 balls, this match would be like.
Oh yeah, that's 4 games. Well, at least it would have been maybe 4-4 or 5-3 Efren. I mean, he did give him 2 games. But let's give young Mr. Coe credit here. He's taken advantage of every opportunity Efren's given him.
He's playing
good. He hasn't made maybe but 1 unforced error on his own.
No, he's playing solid as a rock.
Yeah.
2 rails here go toward the rail over there. It's pretty simple, right? Little top left.
Yeah, if that's his angle.
He's drawing the ball. Yeah,
he
he's
get close, and he can get closer to the 8 this way.
Yeah, he was close. I thought he had more of an angle on the ball.
You feel the speed of that shot a lot better by drawing it into the rail and out than trying to just draw it to a point. You know? That's kind of like one of the fundamentals of moving the cue ball.
That comes up a lot when you're going the length of the table, drawing and, in the rail and coming back.
Right.
Yeah. Six, 3. Efren done going somewhere.
Looks like a restroom timeout.
Yep.
So we will also take a brief timeout here, and we'll be back as soon as Efren returns.
favorite?
Well,
Or who do you think is going to win it?
it's looking. I think Ping's gonna win, but I hope Efren wins.
No, I mean not this match. The whole.
Oh, the whole thing.
Who's your horse, man? Dennis.
Yeah, I think that's a good pick. Yeah, I think so.
But there's about there's four guys.
There's 4 or 5 guys that have a good shot, but you got to go with Dennis. You know, Dennis plays so solid.
Get those. We should have you guys have those headphones, man, to listen to you guys commentate. Like the U.S. Open 9 ball.
Yeah.
That'd be a good thing.
Yeah. Y'all can't hear what we're saying, huh?
Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
They have that at the U.S. Open.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Suggest that to Mark, man.
Yeah, he might go along with that.
You know, it's fun to listen. You know?
Yeah.
You can rent them out.
Yeah. Yeah.
$5, you know, something like that.
No, that's a good idea. That's a good idea.
Yeah, it's probably a cheap system to buy.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I mentioned it to
the
him.
experience, you know.
Yeah.
So
No, that's a good
that's
idea.
my suggestion in the box, buddy.
I like it. Well, this might give Efren a chance to maybe catch back up a couple of games. He's got to get out here. Got my sister watching the match down there in Carlsbad, wherever that's at. Encinitas, I don't know. Sydney. My sister Sydney's watching.
Oh, I thought she was in Sydney.
No. What kind of name is Sydney? That's my mom used to say. I got a granddaughter named Kelsey. My mom said, "What the hell kind of name is Kelsey?" Let's go, Efren. We got to catch up here, buddy. There you go. Get down here on the rail where you need to be. You thought she was in Australia. Come on, ball. Keep going. Another foot or so. Nice shot. Had a guy ask me who I picked was going to be the winner of the whole thing. Who you picking? I picked Dennis. You can't pick the same as me, by the way.
No. I'm going to pick Bustamante.
I forgot he was in it.
Uh-huh. See, you went first, and you still maybe got
dogged it.
Dogged it, right. And you picked your guy after he already won his match. I picked my guy. He ain't played yet.
Look at
so
this.
you want every edge.
Boy, Efren hit this ball.
Yeah, he's going to have to draw into the 7 now and move it.
He's like a foot short of where he was trying to get.
Yeah.
This is not easy, Ken. He's going to have to.
Yeah, he's going to have to
spin
drag
into
it, drag
Yeah.
it. He
Nice.
just has to. He doesn't have to move it far. Just put it right in front of the hole.
I don't think he's doing that. Look at this
You're
shot.
right. Maybe he
I
couldn't.
can tell by what he was
yeah,
cueing the
he
ball.
couldn't. Boy, he got as good as you can get.
That's a heck of a shot there, buddy.
You bet it is. Well, he's still
Just
got the ability to recover.
Just roll up here toward the 8. Shoot the 8 in that left corner.
Yeah, stay down. He did that time. You see, his head didn't come up.
Yeah, but he's supposed to just bunt the ball and
Yep.
shoot the 8. He ain't supposed to try to swing over there, right?
Yeah, but I think
What do you think?
he's afraid of baby stuff. 50-yard line here. I think it's the back cut.
Yeah. I wish he just would have bunted that ball down the rail and shot the 8 in this left corner. Look at this shot. He made a hell of a shot then, killed the cue ball. See him go across the table? Made a nice shot on the 9. On the 8. Billy and Carl don't know with the hat on. He likes them hats, don't he?
Yeah, he's got a collection of funny hats.
He likes them, man. He's a old school gangster. God, I was making a list. I hate to bring it up. It's kind of morbid. I made a list last month, put on Facebook of all the pool players that has died in the last since I've been playing the game. I'm telling you, every day I was thinking of another one. It was like, good grief, you know.
Just in the last 3 years, we must have lost 8 or 10 guys.
I can't, but I mean, I tell you, I know. I can just keep naming them over and over and over and over. People, it's just like it's just unbelievable. It's hard to believe. Maybe you can't hit the one. That's unlucky from there.
Yep.
One that really shocked me was Cole Dixon, by the
Cole,
way. He was a good friend of mine. All the greats, man. Danny Jones, Cornbread Red. Mizrak, just keep naming them off, you know.
Grady.
Yeah, just all.
Danny Medina a couple of years ago.
Yeah, Denny Searcy.
Yeah, Denny Searcy. Freddie the Beard just recently.
Yeah, a few weeks ago. Yeah. Yep. Where do you push? He's kicking at it.
Yeah, I like the kick.
I don't know. I don't like this kick myself. I don't like
it. If Efren's kicking, I like it. Okay, that's going to be Ping-Chung's option. He certainly.
I think he's straight in.
He even if he's straight in, he's got to take it. Well, on the other side of the drape there, I can tell you that young John Mora is now 7-4 ahead of the Kaiser, Mr. Suke.
I don't think he can make this 3. He's going to maybe have to play safe. I don't think he can hit. No, he can't make it. He's thinking about maybe trying to kick it in.
Rail first and play it, but playing mostly safe and mostly cue ball down
cue
table.
Ball's going in and behind the 4.
Right.
We do use that slow, low right, soft drag stroke and just bunt the 3 and go behind the 10.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's a shot that he's played many times, and he likes it. He has good cue ball control there. Just the kill. That's a little thin, but that should be okay.
He's all right. He's good. He's good.
Yeah. You just don't want to leave the 3 too close to the hole and leave him the one rail kick. Now he doesn't. He's got basically the same shot he just played in the other pocket. You know, it's like the one pocket shot, and that's his pocket where he's standing, right? And go up table. Can't catch it too thin though. Oh, that's good speed. That's terrific. Look at this. He got him 2 ways. Got him with the 5 and the 10.
That's an easy hit here, though.
Yeah,
easy hit, but who knows what's going to happen? You know, after.
Well, an easy hit, but an uncertain outcome.
Yeah.
The old Efren would have kicked real soft at this, just moved the 3 and wedged the cue ball between the 8 and the 10.
Yeah. He's calling the 3 in the corner.
That's what he did.
Easy. No, it came
good.
out.
No good. Caught it a little too thin. Hi, Rick.
Was your sandwich good?
It was the best meal I've had since I've been here.
Yeah, me too.
Although, yeah, I'll tell you what I did this morning, and I'm going to be doing it the rest of the week at the sports book here. You know, they got a little sports deli right next door, and their dinner stuff was good. Well, yesterday I was over there. I noticed they serve breakfast. And I had breakfast in this hash house the other day, and I had to send it back like twice.
Why?
It wasn't made right. It was
Really?
cold. Yeah, it was just didn't like it, and it's overpriced because
Well,
they changed the name. It's a different place from last year, but
Yeah.
you know, I mean, bacon and eggs for $15, and
Oh,
I
I
had to send it back. So anyway,
Yeah.
I go over here to the sports deli, and for $12, I got steak and eggs with an 8-ounce sirloin. And it was
Really?
delicious.
Well, that's
I
good.
couldn't even finish everything. It was great. Well, that's where I'm going every day. It's just tough with the hours that we have to do. You know, you can't go sit somewhere beyond your breakfast. I don't like eating dinner at 10 o'clock at night because it takes too long to digest it.
Look at this shot. Boy, hit this ball nice. Yeah, he hit that ball nice, boy. Spinning between them two balls. Efren needs to win this game if something. He needs something to go wrong here.
Well, if it's going to go wrong, it's right here. If he can't get the cue ball far
Seven's
off the
so-
rail,
yeah,
but
seven's
seven's
so
close to the pocket.
Yeah, he's so close. He can't even if
Yeah,
he stays on the rail and comes back like 2 feet,
he's
good.
better off stopping there than pulling it back way far. Well, if he had that angle, that's
Yeah.
perfect.
Well, this is probably the worst spot he could have got on the 9. If you know.
He's too flat. He's almost drawn at the 10. If he
Yeah.
could bring it back to where it is now, Cotton, I think that is about as good as he needs to get. Right where it is now.
Yeah.
See, now he's going to be all right, but this could have come out a whole lot worse. I knew he was drawing right at the 10.
No, he got pretty fortunate there.
Yeah, that's why, me personally, I would not have drawn it that far. I'd have just taken my little longer shot there on the 10 to avoid anything bad happening.
Yes, he got fortunate in that spot to hit that ball. Hit it at a good speed. Jason's playing next on this table, Ken?
Yeah, Jason and Corey.
Well, that'll be an interesting match. As fast as Jason plays and as slow as Corey plays, it'll be
You know, Corey's not as slow as people think he is. He just has. It looks slow because he seems to move in slow motion, but when he makes up his mind, he's down over the ball, 2 or 3 warm-up strokes, and he shoots. I understand why there's that perception. And he was extremely deliberate maybe 8, 9 years ago, but I actually think he's picked his pace up a little bit, and I think he's playing better as a result, too.
Nope. Seven 4. Efren is desperate to win this game here. He's got to win this game.
Don, you okay? You sure? He's been out there since 11 o'clock. Just wanted to check with our ref and see if he needed a timeout or something. He's been doing yeoman work out there, but he's been on shift for 6 hours now.
And is he standing up the whole time? I haven't.
No, I've got a stool for him behind where Efren's sitting.
Okay.
So that way he can get to either pit equally as quick.
Yeah, yeah.
And he also can stay off of his feet when he's not needed.
Yeah, yeah. I'd be murder to stand up the whole time.
Yeah. It's one thing, you know, I've done a lot of refereeing, as you know, and it's one thing if you're actually presiding over the match and it's all ball fouls and you're moving with the players, because then you're moving, you know. It's not like you're standing in one spot for 3 hours.
They're playing all ball fouls.
No,
right?
it's cue ball only.
You like all ball fouls more or no?
Well, I think at this level it should be all ball fouls, but they are playing it under these rules because we couldn't afford to have a referee presiding at both tables. They were only able to devote us one referee.
That's a good point.
So that's why. If we were able to have 2 referees, I think we'd have gone all ball. And that's one of the reasons all the CSI events are played, all cue ball fouls only, because they do not have the capability to provide a ref at every table. Efren's actually called this one rail straight back to his left. It looks like an alley there. Well, it's a two-way shot because he'll see the 2 and he'll have him hooked. If this goes in, he don't want this to go in.
He don't want this to go. No, he thought he made it.
This is tough. It's going to be tough to hit for a right-handed player.
Yeah, he's got
a left-handed player can reach this one rail. Yeah, for a right-handed player, unless he plays left-handed or wants to get the bridge, it's awkward. Maybe he can twist it around the 9, Bobby. He might have enough gap between the 9 and the cue ball to be able to twist it.
I don't think he's going to come close.
Okay.
Do you?
Well,
he's
I don't know.
Got to really twist this one.
I don't know.
We'll see. He's really got to twist this one.
I think you got to get real steep on this because it's got a curve after it's gone a ways.
By God, that's close he can get.
Got a pretty good piece of it. Yeah.
Sure did.
Okay, well, Efren got what he needed, which is an open shot on the 1, and he's going to have to play 2-rail shape for the 2 in the side. And I think if he's going to maybe use the 6 ball as his target ball. That's the ball to the left of the foot spot where he's just standing.
I think he's going to use trying to hit the 5.
Yeah, I thought of that too, but I don't know. I don't know if he can actually hit the 5 coming 2 out of this corner. See, that ball's going that way, so he just decided to play the. Well, he was playing to just get a little further down and cut the 2 in the side. Now I don't know if he can.
Well, I mean, he hit that ball real slow. Look, he had to roll 2 more feet to pass the 5.
He might have
passed the 5.
He might. No, I think he was going at the 3 ball. He must.
Okay.
He might have caught the object ball a little heavy.
He's still cutting it in the side.
Yeah, because the 7 will stop the cue ball.
Oh boy, what a nice shot!
Don't go in. Don't get in there. Has he got a pocket?
I can't tell. I don't think it goes. If it does, he's got like a half a pocket. At least he just always do shoot and stop though if he does make it.
Yeah, I guess he's got room. He's not taking any time.
Nice shot. He didn't jump up. Stayed on the
I was going to say the same thing. He stayed down, and that's the key right now. He's got to stay down.
I've been playing a lot of 1 pocket, this last several months with a couple of locals. And I've caught myself jumping up on a few shots. I'm like, dude, I'm going to throw my back out, And it's like, oh, man,
Why do you think we do that? Why do you think we tend to come up like that?
I have no idea,
Because it's common to all pool players.
And everybody does it.
So there's got to be something
everybody
that we're all doing that's causing that.
You wonder, and you can feel it when you do it. I mean, I can feel it.
You know the moment the Q-tip hits the cue ball, whether you've done that or not.
And I'm thinking, boy, I'd hate for this to be on camera. Somebody see me jump. I look like a jackrabbit. You know, it's so, you know, you can feel it.
The only thing I can possibly suggest that, you know, strictly as a theory, is that it tends to happen when you're trying to do something a little either unnatural or something out of your comfort zone, and your confidence isn't at the level it needs to be, and you're not really on the autopilot that you normally are when you're playing well.
Now, what do you do? Shoot the 10 in the other corner, or do you try to come in short and go across?
I'd short side the 10. I'd go 3 rails short. You want to hit right about where the magic rack is, maybe a little further down. That's
nice.
perfect.
That's what I would have tried to do. Yeah.
That's Efren Reyes right there, folks.
Beautiful. Yeah.
You know, as bad as he's played, he's only down 2 racks, but he desperately needs to win this one. I don't know whose break it is, but he needs to win this game. It's Efren's break because he won the lag, right? Yeah, it is his break. If he can get to 7-6, you know, the heat's going back on Ping-Chung, because he'll have to hold serve to maintain his 2-game lead, because if Efren catches him, then Efren has the advantage because he's going to break in the odd games.
His break is so suspect, though. You know, he's just, you know.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's been that way for the last 20 years.
I know. It's amazing how much
and
he keeps winning.
I guess he turned out okay.
yeah.
But see, you know, 20 years ago, when he was in his prime, though, we didn't yet have this young crop of killers that had these explosive breaks. And he could, and again, it was mostly 9-ball back then. And he could make the wing ball in 9-ball. And he could outmove you and outsafe you. And once he got ball in hand, it was over.
Just don't scratch.
Go in 3 off of there. Nope.
See,
oh, boy.
It's just murder. It's murder. You can't just...
Yeah. Well, the other thing, too, is it's one thing to break dry, but then it's another thing to break dry and not leave any problems for your opponent.
Yeah.
I mean, every ball has a pocket here.
If he gets on the 2, it's over. I mean,
yeah, I'm almost...
4 to the 5 is the only thing that's tough.
I'm almost thinking he might want to go underneath the 2 and play it in the long corner here, because it's the easiest way to get shape. It's no easy way to get up here to play the 2 in the top right corner.
Right.
So
just spin over toward the rail.
Yeah. Yeah. You might even hit the long rail and bounce out a little bit, but this is just low right. Make sure you don't hit the 5. Well, it's about 6 inches short, but I think it's okay because he's got plenty of space for that cue ball to go across the table and come back out.
I think he's just going to spin in behind the 8. Low left.
Low left.
Yeah, just spinning behind those balls. I don't think he's going to go back and forth, but he could.
A lot of that depends on how you like to play these kind of shots. A lot of players like to play this with the low left ball because it's helping English and all of that.
Earl's going back and forth.
Right. A lot of people that are center ball type players, like I'm a much more center ball player. I would go straight across just because I'm more comfortable shooting the ball that way. But
I like to spin my rock.
Yeah, well, I know you do, and most one-pocket players do. But most straight pool players are center ball players most of the time. I mean, that's kind of how we were taught. Maybe a little different now. Some of the modern day straight pool players do spin the ball quite a bit. But he did come across. I just thought there was no risk of the cue ball getting in a bad place or winding up straight in or anything like that. But there was nothing wrong with your approach either.
Yeah.
Now this is the key: is getting proper on the 4 to go to the 5. Where do you like the cue ball for the 4?
I'm coming straight up table.
What pocket do you want to play the 4
I mean, they're
in?
going to, depending on maybe in the left corner or even maybe the side. But I'm coming straight up the table.
Yeah, I like playing for the 4 on the side.
Like this,
yeah,
just like that.
Because
straight up.
it's got to stop. That's got to stop or he's safe. He's hooked. He's hooked. The 10 got him.
See it.
But I think he played the shot the right way, Robert.
That's the way I'd have played it.
That's the way to
Straight
play
up,
it.
right-
To
right-
play it
right
to
up
the
the alley.
side. Yep. And either angle on the 4 and the side was okay.
I would have made sure I'd have stopped somewhere near the 4. I wouldn't have went that deep. You know
Yep.
what I mean?
Yep.
There's no need. Hit
Well,
it like
that,
half
you know.
that speed. He should have hit it like half that speed.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
again,
you remember-
he might have caught the 3 a little thin, you know.
You knew who I played pool with like 3 different times for money years ago? Gene Nagy.
Oh, Gene Nagy, sure. Ooh,
Yeah.
he almost made it. Gene was and correct me if I'm wrong, I thought he was a pretty good instructor too. Didn't he teach a lot of people?
I get Judge Jeanette Lee.
Jeanette Lee, right, yeah.
He run like 400 playing straight pool.
Yeah.
He was a nut. He was a pretty good friend of mine. It's a tough shot here to be shooting, isn't it?
He jumped up. See him come up?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
it's so noticeable.
Oh yeah, he jumped up before.
Before the cue ball got to the object
Yeah, he
ball.
did. Lifted right up. If he'd have stayed down, he'd have made that ball. Lift it up. I know. I hate
Even
that.
if the cue ball's already away from the cue tip, if you come up, somehow it still seems to affect it.
Oh, I know.
It's like the follow through in any sport.
And that was a huge game too. Look at this.
Oh, sure. It would have been 7-6, and the kid's feeling the pressure. He's got a break and not
Believe
scratch.
he jumped up on that ball, but that's a tough shot, you know. But he's got to stay down. Ah,
Listen, no matter what we're saying about Mr. Magician, it's all relevant. All relative, because we're comparing it to at his prime, where he was the greatest
never
player
missed a ball.
ever.
oh
And
yeah.
he'll always be the greatest player of all time until somebody comes along to take that title from him, and that's not going to happen while any of us are alive.
I don't see nobody doing what he's done.
No,
You know what I mean? Yeah.
no. Like I said, I don't think there's anybody since, pre-1985 that has had more of an impact in revolutionizing the way
Yeah.
the game is played in all disciplines at all levels than he has. And he's done it so unassumingly and so quietly, yet everybody that plays pool professionally in some way has probably had some influence on their game from Efren Reyes.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, on the outer table, I can report to you that John Mora is on the hill 8-5 over Ralph. Ralph's at the table. The balls have just been broken. Ralph doesn't have a whole lot to look at real easily. A couple of clusters. We'll try to keep you informed. You can see Ralph in the background in the red shirt.
Who's Jason playing? Corey?
Corey,
Who you
yeah.
like?
I like Jason. And the reason I
he's
like Jason is because he's been playing a lot recently. He's been playing very well recently. And he's grown up a lot pool maturity-wise in the last 6-8 months.
Really?
And I have talked to him a couple of times about it. And it's not to say that, I mean, listen, Corey Dool is still a great, great player. And he's a threat to win almost anything he enters, too, nowadays. But
I haven't seen
if
Jason play in a while. Has he slowed his game down at all?
I don't think so. I think what he has slowed down is his thought process. I think his mental game is what's improved, not his shot making or anything, or his decision making. I just think he's got he has better composure when things don't go his way now. And we were talking the other night. He came up to my room for a while. We were chit-chatting a little bit, and what we were talking about actually was last year's U.S. Open, where he was playing for the right to play for the title in the U.S. Open, and he fell behind quite a bit to Shane, and it was the hot seat match. And it was I think it was a race to 11, and he fell behind, like, 9-1 or 8-2 or something. And at that point, he there was no pressure on him, And he put together 5 or 6 games, and he closed the gaps like 10-9 or 9-8 or something, and he tightened up once he got close, once he could reach, once he saw.
When you're that far behind us, you're just freewheeling.
Exactly. And he said to me that he definitely, once he kind of realized, Jesus Christ, I can win this match now. He hadn't been there before in that position. And you know as well as I do, Bobby, that you've got to actually take some losses to gain that kind of experience if you've never been there before. And he got a little too excited, and he started to play a little quick, and he made some unforced errors, and he lost. But he knows how much he can gain from realizing that. And now if he gets into that type of a position, he has that to fall back on. And he's been playing well, too. I mean, like we said earlier today, just about any one of these matches, you could say flip a coin. There's really, you know, when you say who do you like, I could make an argument for both players, no matter which two we put out there out of this group of 16.
So you're not picking a winner?
No, I'll still stick with Jason as my as my pick if I'm forced to pick. I mean, but to me, it's heads or tails. I mean, I had the other match out there wrong. I actually did think Ralph would beat John, just because of he's so seasoned. But
I would have picked Ralph.
But it's no surprise. I mean, John had Shane so dead to rights last year at Derby in the 9-ball division. And, I mean, he lost to Shane Hill in the 10-ball final on the 10-footer and in the 9-ball division at Derby. John was on the Hill 9-8 in a race to 9 for the Derby 9-ball title. And he got one of the worst rolls I've ever seen in my life. He wound up having a back kick a 2 and freeze the cue ball, and he did, but the 2 goes into the side at an impossible angle, so he's got to shoot again, and he's safe. And he misses the hit on the 3 or something and never comes back to the table, and he loses 9-8 instead of winning 9-7 if the 2 doesn't go in the sides. One of the coldest rolls I've ever seen. He was far superior, the better player. So I'm not at all surprised.
Look at Efrony trying to draw the ball 2 feet closer.
Yeah. Well, this is another one of those. Make sure you stay down.
We'll see what he does.
Yep.
See if he stays down.
Yeah. Just watch his head, folks. Just watch his head. You'll know. Okay. His head moved a little bit, but not so acutely as we've seen on a couple of those other shots. Now he's got to stretch a bit, and he's got to drag this back. Oh, he went that way. Okay. More room there than it looked as far as to get on the 5.
Hit that ball perfect,
yep.
too. Perfect spot. Perfect. Best.
Yeah.
Perfect. Hit it perfect. See if he stays down. Yep. Come on, Efren.
You know, Bobby, now those 2 bad blunders by Efren in the early part of the match really stand out.
Oh, yeah.
Because now it's, you know, looking like it's going to be 8-6. And even if he makes only one of those mistakes and it's 7-7, and with him breaking, you know, the whole complexion of the match could be different. But that's why we watch.
Look at this, how he got. If he would just
this is just hot.
Tad over, he could go forward. He's good.
Yeah, when he's close to the object ball, he's not going to miss. He's going to be able to do what he still is able to do. It's when he's got that distance between the cue ball and the object ball, or it's just a long straight shot. I mean, it's hard to keep your body still. as you need to on those long straight ins. Last year, might have been the year before, we did an AccuStats event in New Jersey, 8-ball, but was on a 5x10. And it was a round robin, and there were, I think there were 6 players. There might have been, yeah, I think there were 6 players, maybe 4, but no, 6. There was a round robin. Now, 8-ball, the guy's a 3-time world 8-ball champion, okay? He never won a match. He went 0-5.
Really?
And it was absolutely due. He had Shane 7-4 in a race to 8, and he didn't win.
What happened to him?
He couldn't make the long shots on the 10-foot table.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I didn't hear what you're saying.
Yeah, and that has
Come on, give him a
continued
little
to
action here.
continued to kind of haunt him a little bit. Not haunt him, but
Does the one go here, Ken?
well, if it does, it's not looking good for Bata.
Not to interrupt your story.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I just wanted to kind of put a little background into why I know that the long straight stuff has been kind of his Achilles heel the past few years.
Yeah.
But I think that's true with anybody that you know is in the later years of playing pool.
Yeah.
You know, obviously the 1 goes, and the 3 to the 4 is going to be about all the business here that he's going to need to work on. Everything else is sitting pretty nice.
Yeah, this might be it here.
Yeah, it might be. Well, we've picked up a little bit of the pace we've lost. We're only 15 minutes kind of behind our schedule, and I think that's real good for the way we've anticipated this going. Looks like both these matches could be over in the next 10 minutes or less. Don't get straight. I like straight in on the 5 in the corner.
Just go straight up the table. That's not 2 rail. Just go
Yeah.
straight up.
Well, if you go 2 rails, you're coming right at it. I mean, it's a little more pinpoint, but the straight up's fine too. I just think you don't want to come too far, where then your cue ball is going towards the 9-7. No past the side pocket.
Like this.
That's a little too far. That's a lot too far. That's 50-yard line too far.
That's like the only spot he could get.
Yep. Well,
like
see,
the
that's
only-
why two rails you're coming down the line
Down
right at the ball.
Yeah, but still, that was.
But you'd have the wrong angle.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why I liked your straight up, but I would have used the side pocket string between the side pockets as my target and not wanted to go beyond the side pockets.
I like the 2 rail. That's my favorite shot.
Sure.
But he had a little bit too much of an angle, I think.
Right. He wouldn't have come straight at the 5
he
to
had
give
to
him.
hit shorter up the.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll probably come out of this okay. He's cutting in the side, go 3 rails.
Yeah.
And, of course, again, young eyes and able to recover, and nothing phases him. And, again, that's what makes a champion. You got to be able to overcome your unforced position errors. And Ralph Souquet is hanging around. He won that rack. It's now 8-6 over there. But we will see Efren again tomorrow. And I'll see if I can let everybody know what time he's due up. Efren's going to be up at 1 p.m. tomorrow against John Mora. And then he will play again Sunday morning at 11. So once tomorrow for Efren and once Sunday. Like I said, some guys play twice tomorrow. Group A is going to play twice today, and that'll be the 7 o'clock round. We'll play Group D. Will play at 5 o'clock. And there it is, a 9-6 victory for Ping-Chung Ko over the Magician. So we've got Corey and Jason Shaw coming in. Bobby and I are going to take a few minute timeout here, let the players come in, get loosened up. So we'll be back with you in 5 or 10.
What's up, buddy?
Hi, guys. You're here, and while you're here, let me double check sponsors. I got Steinway, Lucasi, Kamui, and straight 8 shots. No straight 8 shots, no more? Okay, got you. I got you, buddy.